Come on, who saw this coming? Who saw not simply Joe Biden winning the South Carolina primary on Saturday? That was expected. But who saw him winning the way that he won? And this is before, remember, this is before Pete Buttigieg or Buttigieg, sorry, I'll get it right one of these days, before Mayor Pete dropped out, before Amy Klobuchar dropped out. So that was before that, all right? And then Mike Bloomberg just backed out, now dropped out after Super Tuesday. But who saw Biden winning South Carolina as trouncingly as he did? And then who saw him cleaning up the way he did on Super Tuesday? Now Bernie Sanders is not out of it at all. It's a pitched battle from here on. But look, I am no political pundit. When I comment on political things, on social things, it's from the viewpoint of being a believer, a cultural commentator from a biblical and spiritual point of view. All right, I am not a political expert. Okay, I'm not a political expert at all. So in that regard, I'm looking at the primaries, everything else the way you are. You know what I'm saying? I don't have insider information, but even all the insider information people, no one saw it coming. The decisive victories by Biden, one after another. Remember, former Vice President Biden has never won a primary. He had 3 political campaigns, presidential campaigns. He's never won a primary before. And now one after another, he wins Texas. Now, Bernie Sanders wins other states and he wins California. But it's just something just shifted dramatically. Was it one, that the powers that be control things more than we realize within the political system? All right. So behind the scenes, there's a lot going on that's going to get votes out or encourage. I mean, I don't know what those powers that be would be. But I saw the op-ed piece in CNN that said it was the most dramatic, sudden, come from behind victory they've ever seen. In other words, they're talking about the resurrection of Joe. I thought Biden's lost. I mean, a week ago, I thought there's no way he's going to win. It's going to be. It looks like Bernie Sanders is going to make it. Maybe Bloomberg will come in, and be strong. But I thought there's no way. And it looked like Bernie Sanders is ready to take off running with this thing, with the great grassroots support that he has and the great enthusiasm from individual donors and young people supporting him. And he seems to have, even though he's even older than Senator Biden, he seems to have even more energy and be more articulate on the campaign trail and all this. So, okay, there's the concern that the Democrats say we don't want a radical socialist. And you may have a few people getting House seats and things like that, but the nation's not going to vote for him. So there was definitely all-out panic that Sanders could win. And there's no way that he's going to beat Trump. And obviously, the whole goal, if you're Democrats, is to get Trump out, right? I mean, that's the historic thing, that whoever's running the other side, if you're a Republican, you got a Democrat incumbent, you want to get the Democrat out. That's the whole thing you're running for. So the idea that Bernie Sanders could never beat Trump because his views are too radical, did it come out in the last debate? Did things suddenly change when he stood up for Fidel Castro in certain ways? Yeah, things shifted a little. I just didn't see the shift that dramatic. I expected it to come in the weeks ahead, an all-out anti-Bernie campaign. I expected to see that. So yes, with Super Tuesday, the endorsements of those that dropped out, standing with Senator Biden, former Vice President Biden, yes, those definitely helped. There's no question about it. But helped to the degree that it helped. It's really interesting to see this. Now, Senator Warren still staying in there, but I'd imagine she's going to drop out. She came in third in her home state. I mean, why stay on unless you just want to get more debate time and face time and things like that? But who's going to keep giving to the campaign? I mean, funds do run out, right? So you assume that her dropping out will help Bernie Sanders because she was not as radical as him, but certainly radical. So is it going to end up being Joe Biden against Donald Trump? I mean, look, who knows what tomorrow holds? Who in the world knows? The way everything flip-flops. Who expected Donald Trump to get in on the eve of the elections and all the polls saying it's not going to happen, and the shock? You remember watching that, the complete shock as he came in? Yeah, I know some of you were expecting him to get in. Some of you were expecting him to get in years earlier. A few years earlier, you said he's the man. I understand that. But the political pundits were not expecting it. He gets in. And now Sanders, were they expecting him to take off running the way he did? Probably not. Expected Biden maybe to be the front runner. Biden looks all but out. Now, boom, he's the front runner. And let's say he gets in a brokered convention or something like that. Will the Sanders supporters rally behind Joe Biden to take down Donald Trump? Will the Biden supporters rally behind Sanders if somehow he got in? I mean, those are big question marks there. And then who even knows who's going to be alive and breathing? I'm not speculating. It's just you've got, who knows for any of us tomorrow, what tomorrow holds. And you've got now the three main front runners are all men in their late 70s. So who in the world knows what to expect? All the more then should we pray for God's will, pray for God's purpose to come to pass, pray for the will of the Father for America, what is best for our nation. Lord, bring it to pass and give us wisdom to vote according to your plan, your will. Can we agree on a prayer like that? All right, we'll be right back.